So depending on which business you're in, the different devices can be useful for you in different scenarios. This content is for educational purposes only. Please read the 4 points below before you proceed. If you want to use this knowledge, please be aware only to use it on your own possessions. Do not hack anyone, that is illegal and you can go to jail. Hi, and welcome to this video. We're going to talk about the different kind of hacking gadgets that I talked about the last time. So we are going to talk about each of them, and I will present to you how I would use them in the industry, how I would go around, defending the whole idea of having these devices. Because many of you probably ask, well, why do you need 7 different things and do the same thing Wi-Fi wise? And yeah, I get it, you're probably right, but sometimes the saying is, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. So let's start with an easy one here. Let's talk about the Flipper Zero, what you're going to use that for, and why do I have a Flipper Zero at all? Because couldn't I just buy the individual devices? And that's going to be the critique, People are going to critique and say, but hey, you can just buy the one device and that other device and the other device, and then you were kind of back to buying a multiple of different devices, probably having a better antenna and overall doing a better job one task wise compared to the Flipper Zero, which can do many different things. Also, if you're going to go ahead and buy one of those radio frequency devices that can do one thing really good, sure, you can probably use that device for even better analysis of the radio frequencies and so on. But at the end of the day, what really matters is the communication to the company, that they gonna understand the general idea behind this is what can go wrong. Let me showcase you what this is all about. And let me show you what the average folk can do, because they don't worry too much about you're just 1 or 2 people having a powerful device. They also worry a lot much more about all the other people, the average foe, the John Does, me, the yous, right? The one that can buy the small device, can actually click the buttons, that's gonna be the ones that they're gonna worry a lot more about, because they can do a lot more havoc. Think about it this way: 1 big tank, 100 small ones. I'm gonna bet to you that 100 small tanks can do much more damage compared to 1 big. It's also easier to control 1 big tank as opposed to 100 small tanks. So, the Flipper Zero itself, and I cannot show you the MonsterTech M1 multi-tool yet, even though that it is a part of this review. I'm just going to tell you that I am actually a backer on the Kickstarter project. I did create videos about the MonsterTech M1. I did have my critique to it at some point. I was actually really close to getting to the point where I was saying this is probably scam. But I kind of shifted the thought, and they are really doing the job really well. So the MonsterTech guys, they are really showing their goodwill of faith, and I really hope they will create a wonderful device. They are actually rearranging the design of the thing to get more powerful, I guess, more good for the community. I really hope the community are going to receive this device as well as they receive the Flipper Zero, because then it's going to be a banger, and I'm going to say a banger. So let's shift our focus to the second device I have on my table. We're going to talk about this. It's going to be the Maruder. The Maruder itself with the touchscreen from Just Call Me Coco, with the small antenna and the GPS flop in the top. Alright, so why do I have this? This is a good device, and it's not because that I cannot do the things that it can do already with just a normal alpha card. It can also do more than that, but overall I want to say it's all about the show, okay? Whenever you go out to a company and tell them, listen guys, there are so many devices, not just one that's going to be hard to get and difficult to find. No. There are many different devices these days that everyone can go down and buy, and you can just click with the finger and attack, right? And then it's going to do something. The average foe is suddenly kind of armed in a way. So when you arm the average foe with devices that can do stuff, with just a click, the average foe is becoming dangerous. And this is why I'm here to educate. I'm not here to make you think that you should create this device. I'm pretty sure that some of my audience going home and doing the things that they should not do, because that is how the world works. But I'm also sure that many of you guys watching this probably thinking twice, like maybe I should be more aware of the things that I do in my life, in my company, the choices that I do make. My dream would be to well, you the viewer, you should think twice whenever you go and buy something. When you're gonna go ahead and buy a new IoT device, when you're gonna buy a new computer or something like that, thinking about, well, how I'm actually going to be connected to the internet. I'm actually using wired connection still. I drill holes in my wall. I do buy the actual wires. Why do I do that? Well, for speed, but also I know that I'm a lot more safe compared to just being on the Wi-Fi. So let's talk about a third device today. It is the Crazyradio. We talked about before. Why is this here? And the thing about this is it's also really easy to use, require a bit more technical insight. So I want to say, this device is probably one of the better of them all. The Flipper Zero can also do the mouse jacking compared to this. And I would probably say the Flipper Zero is probably better for demonstrational purposes because I can hold it in my hand. It's a lot more fearful for a CEO or company owner to see some guy holding a Flipper Zero in his hand, and putting on let me just show you the actual antenna. I have the extension module for the GPIO pins right here. That's going to be the one right there. I'm going to plug that into the Flipper Zero. It looks a lot more hacker-like. I have this raw green print plate, whatever they call it, circuit board plate, right? And then I have my Flipper Zero that everyone knows. But if I take up like an antenna like this and I plug it into a computer and stuff like that, they're probably going to think this is a lot more advanced, not that many people can do it. But with the Flipper Zero, everyone can do it. And this is why I create these videos. This is why I keep showing you the different things. More people are doing this, and I'm not usually the guy that mention other people, on, well, YouTube, because I feel they do it already, and why should I announce them? But I can mention a few. We all know David Bombell, a great guy. He's doing more or less what I do. He just have a lot more experience creating videos and probably a lot more contacts. So what I do is probably a bit more nerdy, I would like to say that. We also have a wide variety of other guys popping up here and there, with a lot more subscribers than I have and a lot less time, and they are a lot more screen friendly to look at and all that kind of stuff. And that's wonderful, Go ahead and watch them all. Make sure to subscribe to them as well, and give them a thumbs up and say, hey, yo, you're doing a good job, thank you for the awareness. All right, so let's look at a new device here. I'm going to do a combined show this time. It's going to be the M5Stack stuff. I have the small one here, the stick and the core, I also have a core 2 here on my table. I have the one you saw was a stick and the core 1 basic, I think it's called. They handheld, they're really beautiful, easy to use, no real deal about it, It's what they can do is primarily the evil portal stuff and the Wi-Fi stuff. And talking about the Wi-Fi stuff, let's go ahead and just show another Wi-Fi thing already. It's going to be the Ponagachi, we have it right there. And the Ponagachi, this is a battery handheld. I can walk around 4 hours time. The battery's going to, go out. So the Wi-Fi things is also really good for showcase and show off, because you can go ahead and show the people that have the power, the knowledge to drive in the company to say, I'm going to put down more resources in the cybersecurity department and give them the possibility. There we go. That's a difficult word to say today. The possibility to actually engage themselves in this, awareness of stuff, and maybe gonna take the company to a place where we can be more secure and safe. But it would require the management's backup, and this is why we have to make sure that the management understand these kind of things. Which is also going to take me down to, why not just talk about this, Wi-Fi watch, the D-Auth watch, version 3 with the bigger antenna, There's a version 4 out already, but, I don't really care about version 4 because it's going to be the same deal, just with a bit more battery life. It also have a bad USB. I'm talking about these Wi-Fi things is that you can go ahead and test people's Wi-Fi, test their stupidability level. That's what I call it. The stupidability level. How stupid can people be, right? How well do people react in the actual Wi-Fi environment? How do people go in and say, this is a Wi-Fi, I want free Wi-Fi. Let's just talk hypothetical setup scenario right now. I would go to any place in the nearby vicinity with a somewhat okay antenna. It could be the Maruder that I showed you before. It could be the Flipper Zero with a module antenna that's extending the signal range. Or I could even do with the M5 stacks, create these evil twin portal, double up something, create my own network and make people connect to it. And some of them is going to be Starbucks and, targeting people with Gmail accounts and stuff like that and saying, well, if you sign into this Gmail account, you're going to get free Wi-Fi. And what really happens is they're going to try and sign in, and I can just show them nothing. And then I have their username and their password. How many people will actually jump that train, right? Jump that train. Woo! How that's the thing. I actually think that many people would do that. And I'm not really feeling the ethical vibe in the air saying, let's go, because it's not ethical to do that. What would be ethical is to, do it, but people would have to be told right away and afterwards, listen, this is an experiment. And then you have to tell them that this device is not capturing anything. It's just mirroring the data back to you. Probably not even, just not mirroring anything. Just telling them the message whenever they log in. Say, listen, you were just tested in a ethical environment, and you were actually about to give away your credentials, and then actually try and approach them in a certain way so they don't get too scared. That could probably go well, but you see the general idea behind this, and it could probably be going well and not that well depending on the person you met on these streets or in a coffee shop or the airport and how they are that day. Are they feeling bad, feeling good? So it's very difficult, and this is why it's difficult to create an ethical setup scenario to test how well is this doing, which is why in companies you can easily do these kind of things because you get the allowance from the upper management and people just using their credentials from job. So that's really the things apart from the bad USB. I have two of them right here, I'm going to talk about these. And the bad USBs or the normal rubber doggies I also have. I'm not going to pull out the rubber doggy because it just looks like a USB stick. But these right here, it's going to be the DigiSpark. The DigiSpark, whatever they call it. DigiSpark, yeah, whatever. And I can create my own small bad USBs. The two I have right here, I can show you again. There's actually two of them. Yeah, let me just show you. The one is stealing all the Wi-Fi passwords, and the other one is just opening a notepad saying you've just been hacked. And basically, it's enough for me to show something, but people probably gonna say, what's Scott's gonna do? You're gonna open a notepad? Yeah, I know. So let's go back to the overall now and talk about. Let's talk about why I'm creating this video. Because I must say that people, they do talk about. We already know about these things. And congratulations if you do that. That's really great. That's why we are here to learn. But the majority of the whole world population do not. And many people are watching YouTube. But why are they watching YouTube, if they don't learn? Um, I'm not trying to be entertainment here for you guys, but I'm actually trying to be, useful for you guys, which is also the title of this video. Is it useful? So let's answer the question, let's spoil the question now. Is it useful, and review them all. Let me just, one word, are they useful? Yes, they are useful. Let's talk about the whole idea behind why not just, learn programming. I got some comments from some guys, and I get it. You can probably be the nerdy guy behind the computer thinking that everyone should just learn this programming language and sit down and spend months to learn some weird protocol, and then do something with an antenna, write their own code, and half year later, maybe a year later, they can be successful with something that is something you can be successful with for $50 one week later. It's like the same thing for just a lot less time. A lot less time. The thing is, we could sit down and learn these kind of things, and if we do that, well, then basically, we could do many things, but the whole majority of the world is not really interested in learning a full programming language to create a evil portal, because you can go ahead and just do it with a click. And that is the point of this video,